Thank you, Khizr Zaman, for your valuable contribution. You mentioned about some of the policies of reform and opening up, especially the Western enterprises started to outsource their uh, outsource their making of the parts into China, and that's like big enterprises. Now they've been shifting to China, and China could be called the factory of the world, like it's the warehouse of the world, and you can find Tesla, Dell, and so many uh, companies, Western companies, those who are operating in China. So that was the result of this reform and opening up policies, and it's still continued, like the privatization, like there's a balance between the state and private sector. So the next speaker in line is Musawwir Tanoli Saab. Musawwir Tanoli Saab, over to you.
Thank you so much, Syed Shamsul Hassan, for moderating this panel discussion. And it was very informative. And as Mahmood Hassan Saab has, and other speakers also discussed in a very detail about the socio-economic reforms and opening up and China's policies and economic, plans and objectives and all that. So I will, specifically focus on a Made in China 2025 initiative. So MIC 2025 is, it's an initiative which strives to secure China's position, as a global powerhouse in high-tech industries. And the aim was to reduce, China's reliance on foreign technology imports and invest heavily in its own innovations. So the basic purpose was to invest in their own companies, state-owned enterprises, in order to create Chinese companies, that can compete both domestically and internationally. Then China sees MIC 2025 as a chance to fully integrate into the global manufacturing chain and more effectively cooperate with industrialized economies like Japan, Germany, and the United States. Chinese officials have claimed that leading economies with high-tech industries, such as the EU, European Union, Germany, and the US, they have expressed their hostility to the initiative of this MIC 2025 due to the fact that it would move China from a low-cost manufacturer to a direct value-added competitor. So in 2015, Prime Minister Li Qiang launched Made in China 2025, an initiative, as I discussed, which sets to modernize China and China's especially industrial capability. The focus was on industry. And then they focused on 10, strategic sectors in that initiative. The first one was new information technology, then numeric control tool, aerospace equipment, high-tech ships, railway equipment, energy saving, new materials, medical devices, agricultural machinery, and power equipment. So I think most of these objectives are almost covered by our honorable speakers and Dr. Mahmood Hassan Saab as well. So I will focus on how did this MIC 25 Made in China come about. Like it's a departure from the 2006 initiative that was strategic emerging industries that was taken by China in 2006, which is smaller in scope and centered on upgrading advanced technologies, to secure the position of strategic emerging industries such as renewables and alternative fuels. And with those industries, initially expected to make up 8% of Chinese economy. by 2015 and 15% in 2020. Then both public and private research and development initiatives would allow Chinese companies to develop cutting-edge technologies in key sectors that were discussed before. Now, coming toward the MIC 25, the Made in China, this is broader, this initiative or project, you can say, is broader in scope, targeting the entire manufacturing process rather than only, technical, agricultural, but it is focusing on all aspects, intelligence manufacturing and green production as well. So moving forward, we can say that how this could be achieved, or what China is doing in this initiative. And further, MIC 25 aims to involve developing brand awareness of companies, Chinese companies, and meeting green development targets. So green development will prove important to the government strategies to combat climate change. That is one of the pressing issues, not only for China, Pakistan, but for across the globe, as well as the health and environmental impact of China's industrialization. So the focus on branding and product quality is with a view to international expansion and competitiveness. For example, in the agricultural sector, the goal is to establish up to 3 recognizable brands and up to 5 international competitive companies just in a single sector in agriculture. Then reducing reliance on foreign technologies. Although, China is not relying on as a whole on foreign technologies, but they are still importing, some of the products and services from foreign countries as well. So they again, they want to reduce that reliance as well. Then also, moving forward, I can say that Beijing is implementing regulatory changes as well as introducing standards for key industries, while setting a policy direction to pursue innovation and development. And these standards potentially restrict foreign competition in China and provide access to technology from abroad. For example, requiring banks to reveal their source code and use domestic IP, and also encryption to meet Beijing's secure and controllable standards. That is again very important. It will help them to make strong their, to make stronger their cyber or internet system. Then standardizing practices across entire industries is a priority. That is national cyber security strategy. That is very important. And also cyber security law, creating a legal framework, for the future implementation and update of IT products and services. Then lastly, I will be focusing on central and provincial governments and state-run entities, state-run companies, organizations, and other, that will allow, government will allow them to develop their manufacturing processes. And this include the creation of, that is very important, this include the creation of 40 national and 48 provincial innovations centers 2025 to facilitate partnership and innovations. So this was basically for facilitation and partnership for the companies, and that's around 40, national and 48 almost provincial. So the state-owned banks are also distributing, subsidies, low interest loans, then bonds, especially for small and medium-sized enterprises, SMEs. Also, they are offering direct financial support. Like, for example, $3 billion is available from the Advanced Manufacturing Fund to upgrade technology in key industries, while the National Integrated Circuit Fund has access to $21 billion. And importantly, funding is linked to the use of indigenous IP to push companies to replace foreign IP. And I think that's very important. So that's it from my side. I think it will be, helpful for the participants as well to because nowadays it is very important to secure your the data that is in in the form of in USBs, in computers. So I think securing the data is very important, because we are seeing the cyber attacks across the globe. Even currently, if we see in Russia-Ukraine war, there are cyber attacks on Poland and other countries as well. So this may happen to everyone. I mean, so they are strengthening. China is strengthening their cyber policies and their cyber system. Apart from other aspects, agricultural, technological, and other aspects of economy. So that's it from my side. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Musawir Tanoli Saab, for enlightening us with your thoughts regarding the made in China thing. Like, that's very important. 2025 and the made in China policy. Like, they are shifting from the strategic emerging industry initiative in 2006 now to the made in China, which is related to high tech industry. Like, they'll be producing the high tech industry products, value added commodities, and that's phenomenal. That's something that, as a sinologist, I think that they are slowly and gradually moving after obtaining one target, one goal, to another goal, to another target. And that's phenomenal. Like, there is a lot of talk about these days about semiconductors, that how they would be self-sufficient, self-reliant when producing the semiconductors. So my pragmatic view is that they would do that. Like, they would also be producing those chips, that semiconductors. That's my view. So next speaker is Multazim Raza Khan. Multazim Raza Khan, I hand over the floor to you. If you're
Yes,
listening, please
thank
join.
you, Mr. Shamsul Rasulullah. Assalamu alaikum. As on behalf of the Extended Association, I would like to thank all of you, all the panelists, especially Dr. Mahmood Khan Sahab, for all the good that you all have spoken, and we have learned a little bit from you all as well. Basically, I am going to keep it short because we are already passing the time that we had planned to schedule. China has basically developed a lot in a very short span of time. It has done miracles, basically, when you talk about industry or you talk about poverty, and if you talk about the growth. They have basically, what I understand is, work forward with plan. They have always had a plan on how to move forward. They had set their targets. And according to the 5-year plans of CPC, they have been focusing on it. Their focus is really basically as per the target that they have put for the government and for the public and for the companies. They basically work in different forms, like, for example, the industrialization is, they have government-owned companies, and they have semi-government-owned companies, and then they have their private companies, and they have always welcomed the foreign companies to their country, and have basically boosted the way of doing business. I have been to China, and I have seen a few of the industries over there. They basically work in a consortium. They don't waste their natural resources. For example, I am related to a steel industry. Basically, the whole family since many generations have been into industry, and we have been running, steel mills. I have more experience about steel mills, but my forefathers, they were into textile and different things. So when we talk about my specific line of work, that is steel, we are way behind the whole of the world, especially China. China is now the leader in the steel industry. when in simple words, when an industry is put up, set up, or they're planning to do it, they have a line of checklist that if the industry is needed, if the industry is the planned industry that is coming up is up to the technology, the mark of less consumption of natural resources and maximum production. Like for example, in Pakistan, we are wasting a lot of natural resources in our overall industry, not only steel, overall industry. For example, we used to have a lot of gas. Now we have wasted a lot of gas in our different industry. Now after that, when the shortage of gas started coming out, we started using coal and furnace oil and different things. But things are not controlled. We have to learn from the Chinese government, their planning, and how they have brought up the made in China products, and through control of all manufacturing processes. They are basically the leaders, as all of you know, and we have to learn from them. They have a plan and they move according to the plan by supporting each and every person, each and every company. I personally know, I have visited a steel mill in Kashgar, which is considered to be one of the smallest. Their daily production at that time was 900 tons per day. And ours, we were, in a few years back, this was around 6 years ago. Our one unit production was 100 tons per day, and we used to think that, we are the leaders in steel in, especially, the KPK in the Punjab region. But after seeing the industry and the system and the capabilities and the way they work, Pakistan has to improve a lot. The government basically is supporting the Chinese companies. They are teaching them, they are monitoring the waste of natural resources. In Pakistan, there is no monitoring system, there is no checking system. Everyone is on his own. If an industry is working and they're producing less, no one cares. But what I heard from that steel mill a few years ago that I have visited in Kashgar was that the government had told them that, inform them that your production and your utilization of the natural resources is not balancing. So after some time, if you don't keep up, improve your production as per the usage of natural resources, you should, shut down or improve yourself. So I just wanted to keep it short. We have to learn from them. Even if you visit a country very near us, Dubai, they have a mall. The Chinese people, they have a mall by the name of Dragon Mall. You can go there, you can see how they are, everyone is connected, and they have shops in a 1 kilometer mall, and every product is available over there, and each and every shop over there is supporting each other. It's great. We don't support each other. We need to learn from these people how to, support ourselves, and the government should support us. And I think that's it. I would like to keep it short. So because the time is also up, over to you, Mr. Shamsul. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Multazam Raza Khan. You were sharing your experience of your visit to steel mills in Kashgar, and you shared how much they are producing. You mentioned 900 tons per day, which is phenomenal.